Welcome to the kNights podcast. I am your host, Keikoa, and with me tonight is Ben. My co-host. There we go. How about that weather?
It's hot.
Yes, it is indeed a hot one.
I like corn.
Corn. So our first topic is corn. The vegetable or the band?
The band eating the vegetable.
Ah, that's very Inception of you. So how have you been? What have you been up to since we last talked?
The usual.
The huge.
The huge.
Working really hard.
Work.
Working 9 to 5 for that money.
What money?
No, for not much money.
It goes away.
You get it and then it's gone.
It's gone before I get it.
You can't even get it.
No.
Did you do anything interesting since we last had the podcast?
No, I don't think so. Oh wait, yeah. It's on the tip of my tongue. Something polka? I can't.
I'm sure it'll come to you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Weird Al concert.
Oh right, that's weird because I was there too. I'd totally forgotten about that.
You were there?
I was there.
So was I.
So weird.
I think we were sitting
Pretty
kind of close. Not exactly together. There's like a seat between us.
Well, yeah, you weren't sitting on my lap or anything, but you know, there's space.
You wouldn't let me?
I was in that kind of Weird Al concert. It was it wasn't that weird.
He did sit in other people's laps though.
Yeah, it's true. Just not you and mine.
No, we were sitting too high up. Yeah.
There we go. This was your first Weird Al concert. Carrie and I had been probably to like 4 by this point now. It's like our 4th one or 5th one. I think we get a free Sunday soon. But yeah, so you listen to the music, but you've never been to the concert. So what'd you think of it?
It's pretty cool. He does a lot of costume changes that you alluded to.
Yes.
Actually, just said.
I just basically said straight out that it's entertaining because he just cuts in between each song and then changes into something different. And even if you're not into the music, you can at least enjoy the show.
I thought it was going to be like a quick cut, but then like it's
a quick
actually
change?
long. Yeah, it's a longer cut. So he actually changes like full out into totally different costumes.
I think the band changes too. I mean, you don't really notice it because you're focused on him, but I think the whole band goes away and then they come back as something else for like a song.
And then after that, another video montage.
But she's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's all the video montages between costume changes are all just anything that references Weird Al in some way.
Past, present, future. Yeah.
But he did a lot of medleys. So, because he's got so many songs that people like, there's only so much concert. I mean, he doesn't have an opening band, but so it's just him the whole way through. And
Wait, did he open with the polka thing?
No, he opened with Tacky.
Oh, right.
And it was really cool. I'd never seen that before. Well, because Tacky had just come out recently. But that was a pretty inventive thing he did, because we saw it at the Greek Theater.
The Greek. Just terrible parking.
It was so bad. It was
terrible
really bad.
parking.
Nice theater, because open air, as long as it's not raining. It's nice open air amphitheater, but it doesn't have a set parking. They just basically park in Griffith Park, the actual park.
We parked on the grass, and we were in stacked parking.
Which is always fun times.
And the guy had us park up right under the car's bumper on a hill.
It's just only fun. It's like, let me see how close I can get these cars parked at an angle next to each other. And you drove, and you had to not hit the car in front of you when we had to leave.
Skill.
Yes, did not hurt the car. It's them driving skills he's got. But I like the venue. It's just the parking's a pain. But the concert, like this song that's playing here, he did it as his opening song. But
he wasn't even
cool.
on stage. He was like out by the bus, and he started singing, walking his way through, outside, through the backstage,
because you could see him on the video monitors.
Yeah,
like they had a guy with a camera, and he's kind of like the tacky video where it's just like you're following one person. You're just following Weird Al as he comes from like the tour bus in the back all the way up to the stage, kind of thing, through the audience a little bit.
And the funny thing is, like, he was actually touring, because the night before he was in Laughlin, Nevada, and my parents saw him in concert.
Yeah, it's weird.
And then the next night, the Greek. And we saw him.
Yeah, so you pull out a map. There's Laughlin. It's not next to LA. You've got to get on some kind of transportation and drive down, and then set up a new show for him. So he's definitely touring. Because I don't know if he didn't tour last year or if he didn't come to LA.
Or was he working on his new album?
He might have been, because we didn't see. We always make it a point to see him whenever he's performing, but we didn't go to the show last year because he didn't have one, or he didn't have one near us, like in LA, which is like, oh, because we always went to the Pacific Amphitheater during the OC Fair.
Right.
We'd see him there and get free tickets to the fair, so it's like a twofer kind of thing. We get to the concert, we get the fair, get our eat on, and pass out. Perfect. But he stopped performing at the fair for whatever reason. Maybe he's too big for it now.
Maybe.
He's pretty popular, actually. It's gone kind of mainstream.
Yeah, well, I guess this new album resonates more with the current generation.
It's understandable. I've listened to a lot of the other albums, and I'm like, yeah, I could see how it's still pretty niche. But this one...
It's like, I know this melody, but it's different.
It was so what else did you think? Yeah, so that tacky number was pretty cool, because you see him coming in basically from outside coming in.
Right.
But what else did you think of the show?
No, it was cool. I think he had a pretty good balance of new and old. Like, there were songs that people really wanted to hear. And some of the stuff from his new album that is like, hey, it's popular right now.
It's true.
Let's hear that.
It's interesting because at a certain point he did some of his old songs, like I think Eat It, and a few other ones that were old. Well, he did Fat as a performance, but like Eat It, he did as a slow ballad thing, which is it's an acoustic one, which I'd never seen before. That was the first time I'd seen it.
The guy in front of you was recording it.
So
like he had his iPhone out, and he was just like, okay.
Because it was something different. I'd never seen him where they just come out with acoustics, and they did a few numbers that way. But he did a lot, like I said, he did a lot of medleys to try to squeeze in as many numbers that people wanted to listen to. Like, oh, you want to hear this one? You want to hear that one? So he did just like a verse from here, then it moved into another verse from here, verse from there, which he didn't really do at his other concert. He just kind of did a lot of the songs.
Maybe he's getting more comfortable with it.
I think he had, with his new album, he had a lot of songs that people liked just on this album alone. So he had to do pretty much the whole ones of those ones.
Yeah.
That everything else got compressed down, because I think everything just keeps getting added to his show. Nothing really falls off. The popular ones are from his first album.
He's like, you got to do this one. You got to do that one.
He never gets rid of songs. He just kind of keeps adding to it. So eventually,
and he even pencils in an encore.
Right. But I think it's the encore is just another chance for them to change it to different costumes. It's like, okay, they'll keep cheering, we'll go change, which is what I really wanted you to see. Because I was the one thinking you'll like the concert. It's right up our alley kind of thing. Especially because of the encore, which he always does the same encore every time. In all the 5 years I've seen him, he always does the same encore, which is awesome. But I'll let you explain it.
He goes away and before he goes away, he kind of finishes up and does his James Brown thing.
That was new, actually. He'd never done that before either.
It's like,
So that was
I can't do it. I can't do it.
That's another new thing.
No more.
Yeah.
And then they put the cape on him. It's like, I can. Shakes the cape off. He's like, oh, no, I can't. I can't do it. And then he goes away. And then everyone's just standing up there cheering and clapping in the audience. Encore. Encore. No, it's just cheering. And after that, he comes out with which one was it? Oh, the saga begins.
Right.
So, yeah.
So he comes out dressed as a Jedi, in Jedi robes. Actually, I think he's supposed to be dressed as Obi-Wan from the prequels. Or maybe he's supposed to be as Anakin. Well, he's a Jedi from the prequels.
Yeah, actually, I think what happened was the stormtroopers marched out first.
Actually, even before that, they had the keyboard guy.
Oh, yeah.
That just came up by himself. Yes, there we go. That was it.
And he was kind of winding up the crowd a little bit. It's like dun 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 dun.
Charge! Charge!
Yeah, that.
And then he starts playing in, and then you see the
stormtroopers, Darth Vader, the lead and bass guitarist dressed also in Jedi garb, and then Weird Al as Weird Obi-Wan.
That sounds about right. And then he starts doing this song that's playing now.
Which is a long song. Pretty long song.
Done to the tune of American Pie.
By Don McLean.
Who has been known to apparently confuse Weird Al's lyrics with his own lyrics when he's in concert.
I can see that happening. Because they're both super catchy. Well, the melody is catchy already, and then you just pick up on some words, some phrases. You're like, oh, this sticks out. Oh, that sticks out.
I think it was going back, but when we were hanging out in Vegas one time, you the four of us, I think American Pie, we were walking through the casino, and I think there was a band playing in like the bar or something like that, and they started playing American Pie.
I think we were walking through New York.
It was New York,
right?
New York.
And it was, I think we were walking by the piano bar or karaoke bar.
Yeah,
it was a karaoke bar. Somebody was singing.
They were singing American Pie.
Yeah.
And we could hear it from out there. And you and me started singing
this part.
Exactly. We started singing the Weird Al version because we're nerds like that. I can't even listen to K-Earth and hear American Pie playing without hearing this song. It's like, oh, they got the words wrong.
I've actually done the karaoke version of American Pie. Not this one, but it's hard.
Oh, the actual American Pie. Yeah.
Like, you have the words on the screen, but then in your mind's like, no.
What are these words they're putting up here? Someone changed the prompter.
I drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. What?
What is going on here? But yeah, so he comes out. He's sitting on his stool and just rocking out.
Well, it's just like in his music video, except he has different hair. His signature long curly hair versus the shorter Jedi hair.
Yeah, that's accurate. It's pretty much like exactly like the video. He's just sitting there singing.
I'm watching the video. It's the same people on guitar too.
They're like, well, we already got these costumes. They're like, we'll just keep using them. And when did that one come out?
2009.
6 years ago. So ever since then, he always does this one. And it's always a big hit. Like the whole audience is into it because it's fun. It's a fun song. Everyone's getting into it.
But he should do a new one for episode 7.
Well, the funny thing about this song is he wrote this song before the movie came out.
Yeah.
And he didn't see it, but he wrote it without even really seeing like a full run of. He didn't see like an early screening of it. He just wrote this based on what he had heard from people that had watched it and kind of pulled that all together and like just whatever he could get his hands on because he didn't get a one-on-one with Lucas and just kind of wrote the song based on what he heard.
That's pretty accurate.
And it's pretty accurate. Yeah, so I mean, why not? He needs an update. I don't know what he based the song on, but
American Pie.
American Pie 2, Pie Hard.
Pie Harder.
But it's really cool to see everyone into it. Everyone gets into it because he does the same one. And I remember back in the day, he used to actually have his kid on stage. At the time, dressed as a Jawa, so you couldn't really see the kid, but they were the Jawa that came out on stage at the time. But so he does that song, and then he does another song. So he does 2 songs and one weird thing in between the songs, which you had seen, which I can't explain, but maybe you can.
Is it just the Disney attraction?
It's this weird thing they do, kind of this chanting thing, and then in between they throw in some stuff. Now the Disney stuff, I can't tell if it's the same everywhere, because every time I've seen them, it's always been in Southern California.
Okay.
So I do wonder, maybe I could look it up on YouTube where someone's recorded it somewhere else. Maybe they do a different version of it that doesn't call out Disney attractions.
Well, they didn't really call it Disney attractions per se. It was more like, well, the one that we saw was like it sounded like it came from the Tiki Room.
Oh, it was from the Tiki
Room chant.
It's something that if you live in Southern California, you have a better chance of knowing than if you lived in Minnesota. You'd be like, what the heck was that middle thing? But yeah,
I think it's called the Yoda chant.
So someone might have named it that because it doesn't really have a name. It doesn't appear on any albums. It's only when you go to the show that they do it. It's a show exclusive.
Yeah, it's the Tiki Room music and the grinning ghosts that he does.
Now, is that from this show, or is it from? Or are you looking at it on a different show, like from somewhere else?
No, I guess there's other ones like you say the Yoda chant in Boston, Yoda chant Tulsa, Oklahoma. Evolution of the Yoda chant from 1982 to 2015.
Wow. I mean, I never looked it up before.
Live in Del Mar.
I guess it's got to be maybe different. But yeah, it's this chant.
The Wilbur Theater in Boston.
That he does. Like he does first, the saga begins. And then he does Yoda.
Well, it's Yoda and then goes into the chant. And then
right.
Yoda.
Oh, is this where it's going into it?
I think so.
Or is this just Yoda? So
no,
he does.
I think this goes into it.
So he does Saga Begins and Yoda, which is a play on Lola by the Kinks, except it's Yoda.
Which is what you're hearing.
Yes.
Yoda, not Lola.
Not Lola. Very different song.
Yoda.
Less transsexual, I believe. Yoda. No, where's this one?
Where?
Is this the one we saw?
No, this is in Boston.
Oh. We'll have to probably post a link to this. Oh, let me die.
Yeah.
So this is from the Tiki Room.
Yes. Wait.
No. Yes,
No.
it is.
Yes.
It is from Tiki Room.
This one. No, wait.
This is from the Man Show.
Does it make sense if you don't see it? Because I see it, but you can't.
I can't see it. Ah, there's the Haunted Mansion. So he does do both going. Regardless.
So it's a mix of everything. Like, he throws in a bunch of stuff.
Right. Now, you can't see this, and we posted it, or you can just look it up yourself. But basically, the band's just standing on stage just doing this chant.
Yes.
It's weird because you're staring at them. They look
It's
like
kind of
they're
mesmerizing to watch, too.
They look like they're possessed by nonsense.
Of course, it makes no sense. It just sounds like noise, hearing it now.
Yeah,
Without
I'm
seeing
hearing it. And I'm not looking at the video right now. But they've done this every show I've been to. So they've been doing this for, as you can tell from that, what you're saying, through the years.
Since 92.
It's always been part of their show.
And I guess they just add more and more to it, like you were saying with the show. I'm getting lost in the video.
Yeah, it's weird. And then right after that strangeness, we're like, woo.
Cuts right back into Yoda.
Right back into Yoda. You're like, what just happened? I don't care, but it was awesome. Woo! Everyone's into it, everyone's singing, everyone's having a good time.
You know, the first time we heard this song was on Radio Disney.
I did not know that. Actually, the first time I heard the song, I didn't know it was actually Weird Al stuff. I thought it was some kind of weird, somebody else had done it, but it wasn't Weird Al's version. And I was like, oh, that's Weird Al. So I'm like, oh, huh. But yeah, that's the end of the show.
Yes.
And you liked the show.
Yeah, it was a good show.
And I'm glad you liked it because I had seen it. And it seemed like everyone I'd taken to see it, like we'd taken Carrie's mom and her mom's friend, and they don't know. They know of Weird Al. Technically, he's that guy that does weird songs to them, but they liked the show.
Right.
I mean, they didn't know any of the songs and probably didn't even understand any of the songs because you can't tell. But they're like, so what'd you think of the show? They're like, yeah, it was good.
Especially when you play up the song that he called it Amish Paradise, but it sounded like something else.
Well, they didn't know that. But somebody. Definitely a popular one. One of the ones he did a whole thing for.
Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway from the concert is it's just like watching his official music videos.
It's true.
It's like his music videos are entertaining, and then you watch his concert and it's like, oh, it's just as entertaining.
It's just him live kind of thing.
Like when he was doing Word Crimes, it was almost exactly like watching a music video because they were basically playing all the graphics on the back and the behind them on the main screen as he's just performing normally.
They do that one song that I don't even know if it's on an album or which one it is, where he's walking through the audience. Did you see that one?
Yes. Wait, I don't remember.
No, you were there. You did see it. because you had to step out for a minute. But it was the one he like. I think he's like using all these pickup lines. It's the song is just a song of pickup lines essentially, but he walks through the audience and like sings to people.
So shaking their butt in front of their face,
shaking their butts in front of them and stuff like that. And like he comes pretty far up. Like we were in the second section back, and he almost came up to where we were. So, but he does that during every show too. Like when we were at the Pacific Amphitheater. So you apparently want to be on that side, maybe near a row, and maybe you can touch him or have him touch you.
Stage right.
Stage right. There we go. So if you're ever at a Weird Al concert, you want to be closer up, stage right, near the aisle, and maybe he'll touch you, or he'll, yes, in an inappropriate way.
He can get a selfie with you and his ass.
This is Weird Al's ass. It's amazing.
Potentially.
But yeah, you're right, actually. It is a lot like watching his videos. He just performs them live. This one, he's got his Amish hat and a beard. Which was funny because I saw somebody when we were walking in who was... I didn't get it at first because it's like, what's this Amish guy doing here? Like he had the hat and then it took me a second to put it together. I'm like, oh, he's dressing up for the Weird Al concert. I get it now. I thought he was just a lost Amish guy.
Who really liked Coolio.
Who really likes Coolio.
Yeah.
Like, you're in the right place, sir.
That was another thing I noticed was the crowd.
Oh?
Yes. The crowd. It was how you say... Kind of like this song. And he actually came out on a segway. But yes, they were all white and nerdy.
Yes.
The majority.
Mm-hmm. He rolls out on his segway.
I was looking around like, ooh.
Well, it's pretty spot on. I think I like that one too. It's funny because he has, in the video that's playing in the background, he has Donny Osmond just kind of passing by and doing all these weird dance moves and stuff. I'm like,
yeah,
makes sense. But yeah, it's another one where it's kind of like watching the video because he's just in the garb.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's really no other way to explain it, but... So, here's my question to you, is... Seeing it... This is what, your fourth time, you said?
Fourth or fifth, something like that.
Okay, fourth or fifth time. Does it still hold up to when you saw it the first time?
Yeah, I still enjoy watching it, actually. I mean, I kind of know what's going to happen to a certain extent, like, at least for the old songs, like White and Nerdy, Amish Paradise, Saga Begins, Yoda. They're all basically the same. And then he had the new songs from the new album, which I didn't know what he was going to do, like Tacky,
his
and
new
Foil.
and supposedly last album, because he's handing the mantle over to the YouTubers.
Well, I mean, it's easier for them to just like throw out as many parodies as they want because people are just making parodies anyways.
Yeah.
Of course, they're not all that good. Some of them are good, but there's a certain production quality.
You're not Weird Al good.
But I don't know about... I thought he was going to just... It was his last album, but he was still going to be producing stuff and just maybe not doing an album for it. Or waiting to do an album, just
singles.
Putting them out. Yeah. And then compiling them into an album maybe later.
I can picture that happening. I can see that happening.
That makes sense, because I mean...
He's like, oh, I really like this song. I got something.
Because I mean, he's kind of an icon in his own. Like, a lot of artists...
He's been around for a long time.
And he looks younger now than he did in the beginning. Because he shaved his beard or his mustache.
I don't know. Have you seen the Eat It music video?
Oh, well, that one. But, I mean, not... But when you see him on stage, I mean, like, if you ever see any of his older live stuff, he has... kind of the bushy hair, but like the mustache and the glasses. Like, because now he's shaved the mustache and he has contacts, and it makes him look younger.
Right.
Than when he has
like the 70s glasses.
Yeah, when he has all that stuff, he looks older there than he does now, except for that particular video. What were we talking about?
And the first time I heard this song was on a cassette tape that my dad had.
A Weird Al cassette tape?
No, it's just one of the songs that was on there.
What, do you think he was getting Beat It and got Eat It instead?
No, I think he had it one right after the other, so it was Beat It and then it was Eat It.
Oh.
It was a mixtape. You know, mixtapes back in the day.
Never heard of them. I'm not that old.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Just like that.
Actually, if you have Spotify, if you have that, there's a playlist that has the real song and then Weird Al's parody right after, so you could listen to all the songs that are based on something else, and then listen to the parody right after it, which is kind of a trip because it's like, well, it's either sometimes sounds better than the parody sounds better than the actual one, or it just sounds pretty much spot on. You're like, wow, you pretty much just duplicated it pretty well. You could easily just change them out and then not even wait till you get to the words. You're like, oh, this is the Weird Al one.
Not for everyone.
Not for everyone, no. But I mean, there's a good amount of them where it's just like it just follows along with the other ones. But yeah, it's worth a listen. I listened to it before we went to the concert. It's like, oh, okay, let's see what they're gonna play. There was ones that it's like, oh, he's probably not gonna do those ones, and he did them as a medley, like a quick part, like it's all about the Pentiums. I'm like, that's kind of an older song, which kind of doesn't make as much sense.
Pentium.
Yeah, it's had a lot of references to the time, but he did like as part of a medley. Just all of a sudden went to it's all about the Pentiums. Like, oh, I guess he will do that song. Why not? But it's like part of 5 other songs, which he hadn't done before either. I don't think that was new, where he's doing medleys to fit more songs, at least pieces of songs people liked. So that was nice.
Yeah. And then the polka one, he doesn't really change the lyrics, right? He just kind of sings the song, but just puts it in the whole polka melody.
Yeah, he usually does. He lines them up so they run one to the other, but he'll change how the medley works, but it's always different. It's not even just always polka. Sometimes it's like a certain part of the other one goes into a barbershop quartet for some reason, just because. But I mean, it's always something interesting that he does with the song, with the polka medley. Although I think he said something about he wasn't going to do any more of those either. Because I guess they're very time consuming. Because these other ones he just has to come up with like different words to the song essentially. But for the polka ones, he comes up with different ways of playing it, so a completely different music style, and they still have to kind of blend together. So I guess they're more time consuming.
Yeah, it's almost like the 4 chords music. You've heard that one before, right?
I believe so.
The Axis of Awesome, the 4 chords, where all the different, well, most of the pop songs utilize the same 4 chords.
Recognize this? Yeah, that's Don't Stop Believing by Journey and the cast of Glee. Yeah, there's a few more songs with the same chords. Check it out. My life is brilliant. My love is pure. I saw an angel. Of that I'm sure. People killing, people dying, children hurt, and you hear them crying. Can you practice what
same chords, slight shift.
The other cheek, forever young. I wanna
different songs.
Forever young. I won't hesitate no more.
It is kind of like almost what he has to do with the polka things, sort of. Try to find songs that match up.
He finds a way to put them together.
And if not, then he kind of fudges it a little bit.
Well, he does the transition that'll move him to the next one, usually. And that'll get him there. But yeah, I think I've heard this one before, but
Super catchy.
well, I mean, that's the idea of the chords, right?
Yeah.
It's one that's pleasant to the ears to hear. So you just kind of fill in the rests around it. You just fill it in with whatever words you like. And then you're a star. Superstar. But yeah, I don't know if he's going to be doing any more of those. I guess time will tell, though, because he's already got a pretty big hit on his hands with this album.
Yeah.
People were already like, he should do the Super Bowl. Like,
That's the name of the album? Mandatory fun.
That's. I was thinking about the other one. I was going to like Alapalooza. No, that's not it. Alpocalypse. No,
That's an old one.
That's
also
an old one. Running with Scissors. No. Poodle Hat. No. UHF soundtrack.
Wow.
They got it all on UHF. Yeah, I went there.
Wow. But, yeah, so concert worth recommending?
Well, see, the thing is, so in general, I think if you're neutral to you like it or you're into it, you'll like the concert. If you're just like into it, like, oh, I like a good show, it's very entertaining kind of thing. Now, if you don't like the music at all, like, you know, you have a particular hatred of parody songs, or you just really don't care for them, or Weird Al in general, I don't know if you're 50-50. It might not work for you. It might not convert you into a fan, or at least being entertained by it, because your pre-notion, like, I don't like any of these songs, will probably could overtake any, like, oh, it's an entertaining show.
You already set up a bias for yourself.
Yes. You're pretty much put up a wall, so, which was a good thing. It was a good test, because I know Claudia doesn't really care for the songs, but she didn't hate the show. She said, oh, it's not really my cup of tea, so it didn't push her over the edge or anything. She was like, okay, kind of thing. But she didn't really care for Weird Al in the first place, so.
Right.
She was coming from further down the stream, but I don't think it didn't cause her to hate it anymore. Like, I've seen it live now I hate it so much more, kind of thing. It's just like, well, it didn't really convert me. So I think the current thing is,
if you're on the fence,
right,
or
you just don't know,
yeah,
then it can sway you in the direction like, oh, that was entertaining, time well spent. But if you're all the way on the end, maybe it doesn't work. I thought it would. I was sure it would, but, you know, it's a hypothesis, and, you know, it gets tested out. But if you're even mildly into an entertaining show, and you don't hate Weird Al or hate parodies at all, I think you'll like it. I think you'll have a good time. If you just go in wanting to have a good time, just having a nice show. That's what it is. It's a fun show. It's a family-friendly show. Mostly.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah.
Mostly. And most of the innuendos will probably go over your kid's head anyway, so.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Shut up. Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
That was from the concert too. That one's always been in there too, which is hilarious.
The one where he interviews Eminem?
Where he interviews Eminem, because he did a parody of the song from the 8 Mile soundtrack, Lose Yourself. But he did like a version, his own parody of it, which he can do. He doesn't need permission to do any of the parodies.
He's just out of courtesy,
right? But he doesn't need to. But, you know, he wants to be nice with people. So he was able to do the parody, but he couldn't make a video for the song. He wanted to do it, but Eminem wouldn't let him do it. At least that's what was going around. I'm pretty sure it's true, because in that video we watched, they have a little video segment where he's fake interviewing Eminem. He like took an Eminem interview and then like kind of puts himself in the other role. And he didn't do it in this concert, but in the concerts before, he makes note of that fact. Of the fact that he won't let him make a video. So for part of the video, he's like, we're just going to sit here and listen to my version of the song since you won't let me make a video for the song. And then it just plays, it just shows Weird Al sitting next to a boombox playing it. But the segment is just pretty funny. Actually, any of his interview segments are pretty funny. Is it Lose Yourself? Oh, yeah, it's Lose Yourself.
Oh, it's called Couch Potato.
Right.
Off his Poodle Hat album.
But yeah, he wouldn't let him do a video for this one. Because maybe it was too real. Well, Lose Yourself is too honest a song for Eminem because it's supposed to be talking about his coming up and it's about him, so can't be parodying that. Can't be parodying real life. I guess something like that happened with Coolio though, in Amish Paradise.
Did it?
Yeah. Apparently, Coolio got mad that he did Amish Paradise, although he was pretty sure Al was pretty sure he cleared it, or his manager had cleared it and said it was okay, but then I guess when Coolio heard it, he was all pissed off about it. Because it was supposed to be, Gangsta's Paradise is a serious song about paradise, I believe. So they had beef. Some beef.
Beefy.
It was beefy. But I think they came to, after a while, years later, now they're fine with it. I mean, that was also, I think, on that was Bad Hair Day. Holy crap. What a nerd. So that was a while ago, so they're not all happy with the parodies he does. He just seems to be rappers.
I mean, a parody is a parody. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least, his are, they don't really mean anything. It's just, I can sing a song about this set to this.
Exactly.
There's not really a message or anything hidden behind it.
Nope.
I don't think.
Although, the one he does, the parody he does for Smells Like Teen Spirit. I don't know if you were called Smells Like Nirvana. He, I guess he went and asked Nirvana or Kurt Cobain, oh, can I parody your song, Smells Like Teen Spirit? And apparently Nirvana, the band itself, were really big fans. They're fans of Al, actually. And this is probably when they were kind of newer, too. So they were just kind of... They made it big with Smells Like Teen Spirit. He came to them and said, oh, can I parody one of your songs? I think he asked Kurt Cobain. And then the story goes that Kurt's like, yeah, I'm a big fan. Yeah, go ahead, parody it. And then there's like a beat where he pauses. And he's like, it's not going to be about food, is it? And I was like, oh, no. It's not going to be about food. It's going to be about how no one can understand the lyrics you're singing. And then they started laughing because they're like, yeah, you could do that. And it's basically what Smells Like Nirvana is basically him talking about how nobody can understand what the lyrics are to Smells Like Teen Spirit.
That's actually part of his lyrics.
It's basically what the song's about.
Yeah.
It's just him. He didn't lie. He's like, it's not about food. It's just no one can understand what you're saying. They're like, perfect. Do it. And I like, and I don't really know Nirvana, but I like the song.
But he's actually mumbling on purpose.
He's mumbling on purpose. But apparently a lot of artists think it's like kind of a badge of honor to be parodied. I mean,
I think I heard about that. Like most of them feel that way. But then there's like a handful who...
It seems like back in the day it was more so. Now it's like he's kind of almost more niche than he was even
Don't touch
then.
my music.
But like recently when he did on his last album, where he did a parody of Lady Gaga's "Born This Way."
Yeah.
He wanted to do a parody called "Perform This Way." It was basically about how over the top and outrageous, basically, she performs. It was about her. It's kind of like the Nirvana song. He's just basically writing a song, a parody of her song, based on her. And he wanted to do the song on his next album. It was going to be the big song for the album, like Word Crimes is for this one. It was going to be that one's going to be Performed This Way. But I think his manager, they went to her team and they asked, "Oh, can we do a parody of Born This Way called Perform This Way?" And they were like, "No." So what he ended up doing was he ended up just recording the song and then he put it on YouTube. Just had the words and him singing, just kind of like a colored background kind of playing. But he put it out there, just like, well, they won't let me record it, but here you go. Here's what I was going to do, kind of thing. And then I think it got back to Lady Gaga eventually, and she's like, "What are you talking about? Of course he could do that. Of course he could do that," because she was a big fan too. But apparently, the layer around her is like, "No, you can't parody one of her songs. Of course not. She's no," kind of thing. But when they finally got to her, she's like, "Oh yeah, definitely. Please do a parody." And he ended up doing "Perform This Way" as a parody. But it was because he kind of just did it and like, well, it's a pretty good song because it's like, yeah, that's
the music video is a little bit on the disturbing side there.
Yes. It was different too. He came out in a different costume this time.
They superimpose his face onto, I don't know who's playing
an actor or actress's body.
So it's just like,
it is weird. It's weird. I think this time he's wearing a costume that had tentacles and like
an octopus costume.
Right. Well, just the tentacles part as the dress.
Yeah. And
then something on his head. I forgot. It was like some kind of building or something, I think, that he was wearing on his head as a headpiece kind of thing. I think before, when he did the song, he was dressed in a peacock suit. Like a giant peacock suit. So the tentacles were new. You got something different. But yeah, it was. He's had interesting interactions for his songs, kind of thing. So, but all good stuff. I think there's a few songs that he hasn't done. Like I think one of Paul McCartney's songs. I can't remember which one it was.
It's an ice cream cone on top of his head.
Oh, there you go.
It's like just flipped upside down, smashed on his head. Yeah. I found a picture.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it's
and then wait. Actually, no, that's from his video too.
Well, he's
but
got
I
a
think
lot
it's
of
like the Taj Mahal.
Yes, that's the one in the video he's wearing. He has the Taj Mahal hat where he's wearing the tentacles.
Yeah.
But I knew it was different in the live show. I just couldn't remember what it was. But yeah, well, what do you think? Because I've seen it. I recommended it to you, and I've recommended it to other people. But it was your first time.
Yeah, it's kind of like what you said. Like if you're on the fence or if you're curious, definitely go for it. If it doesn't catch your attention, then or you feel even slightly negative about it, probably not.
But if you're open-minded,
yeah,
to stuff,
definitely entertaining.
It's definitely entertaining. Because that's how I feel about a lot of when I go see concerts and stuff. I'll go see anything at least once, even if I've never heard the album. Because we went to see that on the Saturday was the Weird Al concert. So it was right after we recorded the last Taco Nights podcast, and the next day we went to the concert. So right after that, we was Weird Al, and then this Tuesday, I went to go see a different concert on the other end of the spectrum.
Like an actual concert of a group that's been around for a while.
Has been around for a while. I went and saw the Foo Fighters with Carrie. Carrie and I went to go see the Foo Fighters.
I was not there.
Ben was not there. I think you guys were thinking about going, but by the time, because those tickets,
Yeah, those ones
they were
go fast.
they were sold out. Like, I think I got mine's actually on SeatGeek, which is kind of like a secondhand place to buy tickets. So they were already marked up, but they were not as crazy as some of the tickets. And we got them we didn't get them way long ago. It just happened to be I got lucky for the tickets I got, and I saw it at the Fabulous Forum, where the Lakers used to play back in the 70s and 80s and some of the 90s, I think, in Inglewood, which I'd never been to that venue before.
I have.
The Great Western. It used to be the Great Western Forum, because it used to be owned, I think it was sponsored by Great Western, like the bank or something.
Yeah.
So
It's
it's
just
called
the forum.
Now it's just called the Forum, or they call it the Fabulous Forum.
What?
Yeah, that's kind of the little thing they have going there, the Fabulous Forum, and it's a pretty small venue
Yeah,
compared to what we have now. I mean, it might have been big then, back when they first made it, but around here we have like the Staples Center, the Honda Arena. I was trying to think of some other venues, but I've been to those two, and they're freaking huge. They're really big venues, but I guess maybe now all venues are that big to seat as many people as possible. But by comparison, when I went to the Forum to see the Foo Fighters, I kept noting to Carrie, "It's like, this place is really small." She's like, "It's pretty big." I'm like, "Well, it's small by comparison to other venues. It's a pretty small venue." Like, even the furthest seats back in the quote-unquote nosebleed sections were still viable seats. They're viewable seats. You could still see, you're still like halfway as close as you would be if you went to the Staples or a Honda Arena, where those nosebleeds, the stage looks small from there. Like, the stage is hard to see, let alone whoever's on the stage. The Forum, even we were pretty far back. We were in the last row, but we were pretty far up and to the right. And we still got a good view. But this concert was obviously like a rock concert, as opposed to the Weird Al one, which is, it's fun, it's fun, family kind of thing. People get into it, but it wasn't a rock concert where like the volume's turned up to 11 and you can feel it in your soul because the sound's just pouring into you.
Right.
And the thing is, I didn't grow up listening to the Foo Fighters. I kind of missed out on it. I wasn't really into.
What?
Yep, I was not. It was more of like a K-Rock, like the alternative rock station that used to play. Well, it's still around. That plays in L.A. But I never listened to that station. But it's just kind of where they played where they played Foo Fighters and such. But I knew they were popular, and even though I didn't really listen to the music or anything, more recently, like, what's his name? The frontman, Dave Grohl?
Yeah.
Every time I see him in my news feed about something he does, he seems like a really cool guy, actually. Like a super awesome guy that's like, I'd want to see that guy perform.
Was his leg healed? His foot? Or is he still sitting on a throne?
So, well, yeah, so a little backstory. I guess when he was on tour in Europe somewhere, I guess.
Yeah.
He fell off the stage. Kind of, I guess, lost where he was for a second and fell off the stage at some point during the concert and busted his leg. Like, seriously broke it. I don't know if he continued that concert and then went to the hospital.
Yeah,
I can't remember. Like, he finished up the concert.
He finished up... I don't think he finished up the whole concert. He just did one more song. And he's like, okay, it's really bad. So, sorry, but you can reschedule.
Okay, so
Everyone's
something
gonna
like
get new
that.
tickets.
Right. But yeah, so that happened, and he, so by the time he got, and that was a while ago, that was a couple months ago now, right? Like a month or two ago.
Yeah.
But I totally forgot. I remembered that hearing that happen, but I hadn't put it together in my head that I was about to see the guy who that had happened to. So how the concert starts is they have this curtain up around the stage.
Yeah.
And then, well, yeah, once the music hits, like the lights go down, the music hits, and then the curtain like gets pulled up or pulled away, and yeah, he's on a throne kind of thing. Got his busted leg in like a cast, like the plastic kind of walkabout kind of cast.
Yeah.
But he ain't walking anywhere. But even though he's in the throne in this chair the whole time, you still feel the animation there. Like he's still rocking out, even though he's kind of just stuck in the chair. Mostly.
I've seen those.
Surprisingly, for someone stuck in a chair, he does really work it very well. And it's interesting because this is my first time seeing him, so I'm gonna be like, if I ever see him again, it's like, oh yeah, I remember the first time I saw him. He was in the throne that time. And what's cool about the throne is, like, they have that kind of runway thing that goes up into the audience, and then like so the lead guy or the band can play in the center and people will be around him, kind of thing. So they had the same thing at this show, except the throne itself at certain points would move up the runway, and then he'd be like just rocking out and just playing all the way up, and then you get to the end and you do that there. So you'd be in the center audience and just chairs moving, you're just going off on the guitar, and just seeing it was pretty awesome. And I didn't know any of the words to the songs, and if there's one thing at concerts is you're probably not going to learn the words to songs listening to them at a concert.
No, that is not the place.
It's not where you're going to learn any of the lyrics to their songs. So hopefully you'll enjoy how it sounds enough to later on go back and go, okay, I'll listen to this and learn how to understand the songs. And that's pretty much what it did. It kind of like they played a lot of songs, actually, because they've been around for like 22 years or something, which is a joke he made. It's like, so how many people are like been here, seen us before? And it's like, woo, and it's like, how many people is this the first time? And there's a lot of people too, not just me. That is like, it's like, well, you had 22 years to get here. But I mean, he's still pretty nice about it. But yeah, he's like, been around for a long time, because he's like 40 something now, and he's kind of bigger. Because later on, after the concert, after I went home, I watched some of the videos.
I was like, wow, he looks really young.
You're so much younger in the videos. I like, is that the same band? Did I see a cover band of those guys? And I'm like, oh right, these are really old videos technically. So it was kind of a trip seeing here, but no, they didn't lose anything. It was an awesome concert, and I'm the kind of person that even if I don't know the music or any of the songs, if you put on a good show, I'll convert. Like I'll be in. If it's a good show, even if I don't know anything about it, I'm in. You can win me over. Same thing happened when I saw Weezer. I wasn't a Weezer one. I wasn't into Weezer, and then I saw them in concert at the Pacific Amphitheater. I'm like, oh man, I missed out. I like this stuff. This is really cool. Same thing at this concert. It was really awesome, and I really liked it. And after that, I went onto Spotify and like just looked it up and like, oh okay, and found the songs I liked. So, but I'm willing to listen to anything for the first time. I think
Right.
Carrie knew some Foo Fighters songs, so she was kind of my guide. Like sometimes when they start playing a song, she'd whisper to me like what the name of the song was. Like, oh, okay, because then at least I'd have a baseline of what song we were listening to. So I'm like, I'm happy that she did that. Yeah, she's showing me a picture of the throne. It's pretty awesome because it's got lights on the head part of the throne that like they're like extra lighting. They're just going all over the stadium or the arena at that point, and it was a really good show. I'd say if you have the chance, go see them, but I mean, I think everyone does because those tickets sell out. Maybe not Taylor Swift fast, but I mean, they do sell out, and they can get kind of pricey.
Well, even the ones who aren't really fans, say like more like casual fans,
which I
are
guess
more
I'd be
inclined
me.
to sing him now because of what they hear about him, like his character too.
Right. Actually, one of the things that did put me over the top is that there's that video on YouTube of this is it a city in Greece or something, or it was in Europe, and they got 1,000 people to play and sing "Learn to Fly," like and this big giant open field. This they got all these people together to get to sing the song, to get Foo Fighters to come to their town. So they got all these musicians, and so there's like they have these over the top, like these crane shots where you see like a bunch of drummers and a bunch of guitarists, a bunch of people just singing, doing their song "Learn to Fly," and then when you see that is alone is pretty awesome. And then I guess Dave saw the video at some point and then did a reply to them and said that he saw the video, that he really liked it, and that the Foo Fighters would be coming to their town, kind of thing. I think he might have said it in their language, like in Greek or something like that. He like learned just enough to say thank you.
Yeah.
You know, they really liked it, and they will be going to your town. And I was like, okay, it was a pretty cool dude, kind of thing. And he trolled the Westboro Baptist Church. Did you see that one?
I think so.
They were picketing, I think, their concert somewhere, as they do.
Oh, right, and they went in the car.
And they were on the car. They came by in like a just truck,
yeah,
blaring "Never Gonna Give You Up" by I can't remember his name now. I was gonna say Rick Roll, but David Grohl. But basically, they were playing that song, and they were just like, you know, what about it? What? Never gonna give you
the
up.
Rick Astley song.
Rick Astley. There we go. Linked out of the name, but yeah. So yeah, it's stuff I'd seen about him that made me go, I kind of want to see that guy in concert, because everyone's like, that's a good guy. Oh, and by the way, he's the lead singer of this band that's been around for 20 plus years, and they're really popular, and why haven't you heard them before? And I feel like I had heard pieces of their song in the background of my life. Like, they sounded familiar, but I never heard all the songs, and I admit I missed out. I wish I had listened to them growing up, but it was out of my wheelhouse when I was growing up. So I'm making up for lost time.
Yeah, a lot of these, me hearing them again right now, it's like, oh, classics.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, what? You what?
Totally missed them. But yeah, good concert, and hopefully I'll get to see him again with his leg working.
More awesomeness.
More awesomeness, but it was already pretty awesome. Oh, and they had a guest for, I guess, I'm not sure if it's like every show, but they usually have a guest that comes on stage and plays with the band, like on different nights. I think we were there was the second night they were at the Forum. The first night, I guess, they had Jack Black come on stage and do a song with them, and Nikki Sixx, I believe, come on stage with them and do a song with them. The night we were there, they had Perry Farrell from Jane's Addiction. That's going way back. Like, I don't even know. I guess it was around my time, or no, probably just before, because before he came out, he was going on about how if it weren't for this guy, there wouldn't be bands like his band and a lot of bands that came out around that time, because of Jane's Addiction, of that band, that a lot of them started. So he came out, and of course I didn't know who he was. I had to look him back after, because this is Jane's Addiction's from like 1985. So I was 4 at the time. So it's a bit before my time, but everyone in the audience, they knew who he was, so that was fun because I guess they did. I'm not sure. I guess they did a Jane's Addiction song. Oh, they did. I think they did 2 songs, and and people knew the words. They were singing along at all the right times. I was lost, but into it. I was excited because they were excited. It was that kind of thing where it's just like, I'm into it.
You can feel the energy in the crowd.
Exactly. You could really feel it. So even though I had no idea who that was, it was okay. It was really cool. Just because I'm uncool and I don't know things. Which I freely admit. But yeah, it was a really cool concert, and I'm glad I got to see it. Which is why I always try to go to things I may not have grown up with, but people say are good. Because I'm usually missing out because my limited scope.
Well, I guess it's good in a way too. It doesn't close yourself. You're not closing yourself off from other things as well. If anything, you're more open.
I try to be. Because Carrie's really into... Her favorite artist is Richard Marx. I only knew the staple songs, the same songs that everyone else knows. But I mean, we're talking deep cuts, like pieces of album that no one's ever heard except for Richard Marx fans. So, but now I've been to... she knows. Because I've been to like 5 Richard Marx concerts.
Huh.
And they're not big like the Foo Fighters one or the Weird Al one. They're like kind of smaller venues, but they work. Like I'm sure he used to sell out stadiums and stuff, but now it's more just the closer fans so it's a little bit more intimate, which is cool actually. It's a change, but like he understands his place. He like makes self-deferential jokes about himself that are always funny because he knows, how people feel about him, or like he's the easy listening guy. Like, yeah, he's the
It's kind of like I'm picturing like Tom Jones or Wayne Newton.
At times, yeah. Because the funny thing is, he makes a joke about how, like he wants to be like a rocker kind of thing. He likes to do like the faster songs, but he's known for like the slower stuff. Like he'll always hear his songs. Like he'll joke, he'll hear his songs right in the middle. Like, yes, that was Richard Marx with. I can't think of a song off the top of my head now. Oh, Right Here Waiting, the staple song that everyone knows, Right Here Waiting, which Carrie does not care for. Because she's a fan, and it's like, no, that's the one everyone knows. They don't know the deeper cuts, essentially.
He's a hipster.
It's whenever you're really fans of a band or an artist, and people are just like, yeah, I know that one, he does this one. It's like, nah, but he does really, or she does really good stuff. You just never heard it before. But like he'll hear it's like, and that was Right Here Waiting by Richard Marx. And next on our list, Bette Midler with Wind Beneath My Wings. It's like, because he wants to be a rocker. He likes doing those songs, like the faster ones. So like, I've heard a lot of the faster ones. And I'm like, these are good too. I missed out. I was the Right Here Waiting. Like he does the Right Here Waiting. Just like, shut your mouth.
But I was just talking about Richard Marx.
But it's weird. But
I can dig it.
I can dig it. That's one that I wouldn't expect. But it's actually one that I'm like, yeah, people should see him. His shows are pretty funny because he's usually doing a storytelling thing. Like he's telling you the stories behind it. Like I think one of his songs, Hazard, he wrote it, but then he's like, oh, he was like, I didn't really like this one. And then he was gonna just like put it away, and like because he'll write some stuff and just put it away because it's like doesn't sound right. And then he played it, and I think his wife at the time was like, heard him playing the song. She's like, play that again. She's like, he's like, yeah, but it's not gonna really do anything. It's not that good a song, kind of thing. She's like, that's gonna be a number 1 hit. And then he's like, okay, fine, whatever. It's like, you should put it on an album. So he just kind of put it on album out of spite. It's like, I'll show her, it's not gonna be that good. Goes number 1, kind of thing. So stories like that where you're just like, oh, okay, that's where he's usually the butt of the joke or something like that. Which I wouldn't have known if I wasn't with her. She's the one who opened my mind to that whole thing. So that's why I always try to leave an open mind. Oh, yes, Hazard. That's the one. I guess he was trying to write a song about like a murder mystery kind of thing, but he didn't think it worked. Is this that one? Is this Hazard?
Yeah, it's Hazard.
It's weird. It's different. I've heard it live so many times now. Like 4 or 5 times. Because he tends to play the same songs. Because he just recently came out with a new album. Like last year or something. But yeah, he didn't think this song was going to work. It was like, I want to write a story song. And then he wrote in like, I don't think this is a good song. And it's like, oh, I guess I was wrong.
Shows what you know.
Apparently.
About
like,
what the people like.
You
don't know what they know that they like that they know.
At one, he was talking about, like, when we saw him at the Grammy Museum, he was talking about, it's like, anyone who tells you they know a song's going to be a number one, they know which song's going to be number one hits, they kind of probably don't know what they're talking about. Because he's had a lot of number one hits over his career, but he just never quite, like, oh, that one? Well, okay, that caught on. Sometimes you just never know what people are just going to like. So you just kind of keep writing and just don't worry about it. And then when people like it, I like it.
Yeah.
So that's how he sees it. Like, you know, because usually nowadays he's wrote a lot of songs for other bands and stuff, like NSYNC. When they were popular, he wrote some songs for them. And
Bye.
I think he wrote, not that one, but I think God Must Have Spent a Little More Time on You. He wrote that song, or co-wrote that song. And he tells this funny story about how it was when NSYNC was big. They had to find a recording space that wouldn't be like mobbed by fans, NSYNC fans at the time.
Right.
So I think they said they found a studio out in like the sticks of Florida, like just some backwater studio to finally record in. And they'd sneak the boys, the NSYNC, through the back, so no one would see. And Richard just walked in the front door because no one cared. And then, so they did it, and then they went home for the day. So NSYNC goes out the back, snuck out the back. He walks out the front, and I guess some of the girls had come out, the ones that were they somehow found out that NSYNC was going to be there. And then they missed him, but they saw him running. I was like, one of the younger ones comes up to him and goes, "Excuse me, are you Richard Marx?" And he's like, Yes, I am. She's like, my mom loves your music. So it's just like,
that kinds of remind me of is like Margaritaville by Jimmy Buffett. So it's like everybody knows, okay, like what you were saying, Right Here Waiting. And it's like, that's what I know. I don't really know too much of the other stuff, but that's the main one, I guess.
Right, that's the one. That's when they play everywhere.
Like Margaritaville, same thing. It's like everybody knows Margaritaville.
Oh, yes.
Do you know anything else that he's done besides that?
Answer the question. I didn't date her. She made you
I think I come up with nothing. Wait, no.
1977. That's how old that song is. But you have the restaurant, the casino.
Right. I walked by Margaritaville.
The blender.
You were telling me about the blender,
yeah.
Which was like a margarita drinker's drink. Tell me about that Margaritaville branded blender.
It's not really needed. But I guess what happens is there's the ice hopper on the top, a blender on the bottom. You choose your setting, what kind of margarita you want, and it'll measure out the ice into like however much mixer that you put in to come up with the perfect consistency of margarita. Like if you get blended or I guess on the rocks or whatever. I don't know.
Now,
but I guess it's more blended margaritas.
But it only makes margaritas. Or, well, I guess the blender works otherwise, but its main, almost sole function is to put you into Margaritaville.
Well, it's a frozen drink machine is how they market it.
Okay. I get it. you don't add alcohol, then it's not a Margaritaville thing. I wonder if they had to expand that. Like, it was originally specifically for margaritas, and they're like, I don't know if we can sell that many just to margarita drinkers.
But there's 14 different versions of the Margaritaville blender.
Holy crap. 14.
14. They have travel ones, they have big party ones, they have ones that, they have one called the Tahiti, and I guess it makes 3 different margaritas at once.
Three different ones, or three margaritas at the same time? Like, I want this one blended, but I want this one just a little less blended.
Well, in the picture here, there's like a red one, a green one, a yellow one.
Oh.
All in a picture attached to the machine.
Huh. So
it's $500.
And when you got to get serious about your margaritas, you bring it to Margaritaville.
They call it the party machine.
If you like margaritas. But
yes.
So this machine, it rolls out of this song.
Right.
And the casino, the restaurant, also this song.
Yeah, the restaurant. I don't know if there's restaurants outside of Vegas. That's the only place that I've known that I've seen it.
The only place that could have a Margaritaville
attached
restaurant.
To the Flamingo. And then they even expanded where it's like restaurant, gift shop, and then now casino, Margaritaville Casino. So they took over some of the casino floor space that used to belong to the Flamingo.
Huh.
And now that whole section is Margaritaville.
I'm not sure if I saw it like when I was walking down the strip. Is it like open to like the strip? Like it's like an open kind of bar that looks out onto the strip? Or is that something else I'm thinking of?
I think it might be part of it. I don't
like
remember.
Part of it is like you almost walk right into it like it's open. Or I might be thinking of something else.
It's right along the strip.
So it is. So
you can like weave into the casino and back out onto the sidewalk into the casino.
Right. I think it was like that.
And then you can, it's like, hey, what's this line for? To get a blended margarita in a Margaritaville souvenir cup for $30 or $50 or however much it was.
I wonder if I had one of those. No, it was probably from somewhere else. But that came from the song by who?
Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett. And he did other things other than Margaritaville.
I guess. It's like, I'm pretty sure there's Jimmy Buffett fans out there who know of other stuff that he's done. And it's like, oh yeah, this song, and yeah, it's good. But then it's like, I hate Margaritaville. It's what everyone knows.
It's exactly what it is. It's good. Actually, that's exactly what it's probably like. It's just like, if you're a fan, you just hate that one song that everyone knows. Not because you hate the song. You probably like the song, but it's just like...
It's overplayed.
I can't, you can't hear it anymore. Yeah. Kind of thing. And, yeah, it's the same thing for that song, for Carrie, for...
Well, it's like Let It Go. How many people are tired of that song?
And still sing.
It's not a bad song.
Not a bad song. It's just, oh my gosh, I can't hear that song anymore. Again? You can't avoid the song if you're at Disneyland. You're gonna hear the song.
Yes.
No matter how much you're trying to avoid it. Don't listen to the song. Don't listen. But yeah, that I do like listening to different stuff. Like later on next month in October, we're going back to the Forum, and I'm gonna go see Janet Jackson. So Weird Al, Foo Fighters, and Janet Jackson. I think I'm stuck in a certain time period.
It seems that way.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate, I think. Most of the stuff I like is apparently from the 90s, 80s, late 80s, 90s, maybe early 2000s. I just can't help myself. But yeah, I like going to concerts when I can, but it's kind of expensive. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer sometimes. And if you want decent seats for anything. I know, like, at the Hollywood Bowl, it's a horrible place to see a concert.
It's too big.
Too big. Well, okay, for a
Even
concert,
as-
actually concerts
Well-
not as bad as seeing a play or musical there.
Yeah.
At least the music.
But the screens, even though you have the screens on the side that help you, quote unquote, see what's on stage, it's still really tiny.
Right. And there's seats that are way just too far back.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be seats that far back. But I guess at least if you're seeing a musician that's like got a main focus, like it's like the front person and then the band who no one really looks at. If you're looking at a whole band, it gets a little bit weird. But if the camera can just at least focus on one person, then you can at least see them on the screens. But if the camera's trying to focus on many people, you're going to miss something.
Yeah.
Which makes it really bad for plays and musicals they have there, because you're trying to see everything that's going on the stage, but the camera can only look at a few things at a time. So you're like, what's going on over there? The camera's not looking there. I have no idea.
Oh.
I think we saw the producers there, because I really like the producers, and we weren't even at the back. We were like further up, but still in like the bench area, and we still couldn't see anything. And at the intermission, we moved up a couple rows, and we still couldn't see anything very well. I'm just like, that's when I'm like, oh, this is a terrible place unless you're rich.
Have you been to the... Well, it was the Verizon Wireless Amphitheater. Now it's the Irvine Meadows Amphitheater, I think.
That's one I have not been to, actually. But you've
Okay.
been.
Yeah.
You saw, what did you see there?
Weenie Roast.
Ah.
I think it was 2008. I think.
Okay. It's open air, right?
Yeah, it's open air.
Is it pretty big?
It's pretty big. Except I want to say, even though we were towards the middle back, I don't think it was like Hollywood Bowl big, like where you could be at the back and like, what's going on?
It wasn't obnoxiously big. It was big but doable.
Yeah. Or like being at the nosebleeds in Staples Center. Because I was there, I think we had tickets for a Glee show when they were touring
Oh, okay.
at the peak of the thing.
Right.
So somebody had tickets, they couldn't go, and you want to go?
Sure.
Sure. Free tickets. And I remember being up there, it's like, if I lean forward, I feel like I'm going to fall down, down. And I had my camera with me, and I zoomed all the way in, all 20 times of the zoom. And it's like, look, now it's normal.
I can see their faces one at a time.
No, it just zoomed in, so the stage was in frame now.
Oh.
But I couldn't zoom in any more than that.
Oh.
So
that was max
that's how far,
zoom.
Yeah. That's how far back we were. How far up.
For your free tickets, though. So they were free, but...
Well, parking
was
was
almost
like
like-
$25, I think.
Oh. It was the same thing at Forum. Oh, that's rough.
Yeah.
So yours weren't free.
Yeah, when we saw a concert at the Forum, I think it was Rise Against. Same thing. Just issues trying to get there. Terrible, like, street access for those big events. And then leaving, same thing.
Right. And the Forum's not in the bestest of areas.
No.
So, like,
Super shady.
it was still, like, the shows technically started at 7, like, the opening band was to be at 7, so it's like, okay, that's pretty early. So I looked up at the map to Forum, because I wasn't sure how to get there, and it just told us to take Surface, because it was still during rush hour, so avoid the freeways. We went through some shady areas, but it was still daylight. And we were making the point, it's like, when we leave, we can't come back this way. After the sun goes down, we cannot drive back this way. We're going to have to take the freeway, because this is not the kind of area we want to be at, well, any kind of stop in for longer than half a second, maybe. Because the area, because the forum's in is in Irvine, in Inglewood, and the area around it is not so good. Staples Center is kind of the same way, except at least it's a little further out, like just adjacent to it. Like it's okay because that's where all the parking is. But if you go another block out in any direction, then you're getting into shady areas. Like they've carved out a nice area around the Staples Center, the Convention Center, and the Nokia Plaza.
It's almost like Long Beach. Like that area for a long time was really bad, and then they carved out a little area along the shoreline. And then they created Shoreline Village, the Pike, and everything from that area. Made it nicer, and people were like, oh, it's a good area. And then I thought you cross one street or make one wrong turn down a block and like, oh, where am I?
You just need to know the direct route to get back on the freeway. Do not veer off this path. Do not go wandering, because you're going to be in areas you don't want to be in. But yeah, but the park, that's the thing. The parking's pretty pricey at the Staples Center and at the Forum. But I guess if you want to take your chances and find free parking somewhere in the wasteland of the streets.
No, I saw people getting free parking and walking all that way.
Yeah, you could do it. It's a conundrum I have coming up, because I'm going back to the Forum next month, and it ran through my mind, do I really want to pay another $25 to park in the parking lot? Sure, it's safer, but I wonder if I should hunt down some kind of parking somewhere offsite, because for when I went to E3 and stuff, the parking at the convention center is more expensive than any kind of other parking, street parking in, let's say, not so good neighborhoods, but it was always daylight, so at least it felt safe enough to go like, oh, I could park here and I'll be gone before the sun goes down, and I'm pretty sure no one will break into my car. Fairly sure. There's other cars here. There's nicer cars here. I'm definitely lower on the list. I'm at the top of the list here. It's a calculation. It usually works fine, though. But yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do when I go back again. I think I'll just get lazy and just go, like, fine, take my money. Whatever.
That's what I would do.
It's worth the investment, I guess.
Convenience.
And convenience.
Pay for the convenience.
It was pretty close to the Forum, because we got there kind of early. Actually, we got there early, but I think a lot of people were stuck in traffic.
Tailgate.
That's true. We should have done that. I had the tiniest parking spaces, though. Like the lines, like that divide the spaces were like these little itty bitty things. Like, I was parked between these two cars. I'm like, I don't think any of us are getting out. I think the truck ended up moving because it's just like, this is ridiculous. No one's getting out of these spaces. But yeah, concerts, yes, good
stuff.
I always like to go to as many as possible, but I don't have so much of the money to spend. Trying to save money. Not very good at it.
On the plus side, it's going to be something you'll remember forever.
Yes,
because it's a totally different experience, different energy, different everything. And just come prepared with knowledge of the lyrics ahead of time, because you'll have everyone around you will be really into it, standing up, swaying, dancing, all that stuff in front of you,
in front of us, moving their arms up and just sit down, lady, sit down.
That's old people talk.
Rest your legs so the rest of us don't have to see the show through your arms the entire time.
You belong in the mosh pit.
Yes, go down to the general area. That's where your people are, right down there. But yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of see it. That's a good way to see it, because that's usually the reason I get in trouble for spending money is I just want to. I mean, you only get one chance at this life, so you don't get a retry unless you're a certain religion
or a cat.
Yes. So
meow.
I do want to try. I want to try as many things as possible, as many different things as possible, so that when I reach the end, which I eventually will, I'll be like, yeah, I got to try a lot of stuff, a lot of cool stuff. I'm good to go. I don't feel like if only.
Should have, could have, would have, didn't.
Well, there's probably some things I won't get
not.
around to. I probably won't be climbing Mount Everest anytime soon that I can predict. It's on my list, but it's probably never going to get to it. And that's okay. But smaller stuff that I think should be doable, like just visiting places in other countries, going to places in the world, that should be doable in some way. I've been skydiving.
And you survived.
And I didn't die. That would have ended my list quick. It was the first thing on my list when I created the list. It would have been just really
Usually
bad if it
people
was the first thing.
Save that for last. Things like that.
I definitely decided to go big first. It's like, I made this list. You know what? Okay, let's go. Let's just jump out of a plane. Seems like a good idea. But yeah, I have bungee jumping on it. Carrie said she'd go bungee jumping with me. She wouldn't go skydiving. I've done it, so I was like, okay. But she said she'd do bungee jumping, which
What about
me
those
as-
slingshot chairs?
Oh, the ones that shoot you up?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Have you seen the videos of where the cable snaps? And like the bracket comes crashing down right next to it and smashes at the concrete.
Nope,
And
missed
people-
that one.
Everyone watching is like, and the people in the car are like, when are we going to go? We taking off yet? What happened?
Yeah.
Oblivious to the fact that he almost died.
I almost died. But, well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that one. But I still want to do the bungee jumping. But when we went to the LA County Fair, they have like the crane that just like kind of lifts you up and like lifts you up pretty high, and then you do a bungee jump off that. It's like a portable bungee jump kind of thing.
Porta jump.
Porta jump. But I think a while back, like a long time ago, I'd found like, I guess there's this one that does it, that does a bungee jumping for like when reality shows, like, okay, we're gonna do another thing, and if you don't do it, you're out off the show kind of thing. And they like do the bungee jumping there, like this one company that you trek out to this bridge, kind of like you think of when you think of bungee jumping, like, well, not in Vegas or anything, but like where you're doing the jump off of a bridge into a creek bed and hopefully not dying. I think I'm gonna do that sometime. I think I'm gonna find that one again and do that one. You're in, right?
What?
Ben's in. You heard it here.
Who? What's my name again?
He's totally in for this. He's in for a couple jumps. That man's no fear. He knows no fear. Isn't that right?
Who?
It's like, where did this conversation go? Kind of thing. Do you have a list of stuff you want to do, like a bucket list type
No.
thing, or like an idea of stuff you'd want to do, even? So you never made one before?
No.
You're like, I'll do everything eventually
In my own time.
in your own time, because we're all getting just younger at this point.
Exactly. I think traveling.
So
more.
traveling would be on, if you had a list, an imaginary one. Traveling would be like, where would you want to go? Like, where's some place is, or place that you're like, I always want to see that place, or kiss the ground here, or pee over there, kind of thing. Because I mean, there's always the big places that everyone wants, but where would you want to go? Where does Ben want to go on his, or some of the places Ben wants to go?
Go see the world.
Well, you can. We are in the world now, so we could just mark that one off the list now. Unless you wanted to be more specific about which part of the world you'd like to see.
All of it. Just like in Aladdin.
So you want a flying carpet and an awesome, funny genie.
Yes.
Well,
I can
I was
wish
gonna
for more
say, you've
genies.
been to, where have you been already, though? I guess. Where can you knock off the list? You've been to Thailand.
Georgia, Florida, Arizona, Nevada.
Okay, the continental United States. Check. Would you want to see every state? I don't know how different all of them are. Maybe you've seen North Dakota. You've technically seen South Dakota. No insult to the Dakotas.
Now, somebody said something really interesting to me, and it was actually, it seemed really smart too. What she did, she traveled the world when she was younger, and she saw everything, did everything. Zip lining, shooting things, like hunting or something like that. Going to just places all over the world. And now she's a lot older and basically retired. And she's like, yeah, I'd go see everything else first around the world. And then now that, and when I get too old to travel anymore, and then I just stay local and I see what's around me in the States. Like, so, travel the nation.
So when she did that when she was younger, was she just like backpacking and just like
doing everything?
Bumming
pretty
it?
Much.
Well,
no, not bumming it, but I think, well, I don't know the details, but
I was gonna say, is this like the kind of like, I have lots of money, so I'm just, my family has lots of money, so I'm just gonna blow it going around the world and doing all these amazing things?
No, not like that. It was somehow it worked out to where it's like, I guess they have friends all over the world. It's like, I'll stay at your place for like a day or two, mosey on over to
how's that even
this
happen?
country.
I think I've only got like friends in technically 2 parts of the world. I'd assume I'd have to go to those places first to get friends. Unless they just send random postcards out.
Yes.
Or couch surfing.
The internet.
The internet. Ah, yes, I do have access to things like that. Except I got responsibilities. I'm too old now. I missed the window. I missed the window.
Never too old.
I should have started before I had responsibility.
Never give up. Never surrender.
It's too late. Too old for this. But since we are a little bit on the older, more responsible side, and you can't do everything, what would you want to do if you had the money or the time or the ability to go? Would you go see every continent?
I don't know about every continent. Probably the ones that interest me the most that I've seen on TV. It's like, I gotta see this for myself.
Like, what would be worth seeing? Anything off the top of your head?
New Zealand.
Huh.
It's like Australia, but without all the deadly animals.
Hey, you don't want to try your luck in Australia? Roll them bones where everything's trying to kill you? Like the country is trying to kill you? Or the continent is trying to kill you? No?
How about no?
No? And
I got more of the world to see.
You want to save that for last, so if you die there, you already got rid of everything else. You're done. It's like, okay, bring it on.
I don't want to start off skydiving.
You don't want to start off that way. Start off with the one that would most potentially kill you, and then work your way from there.
Well, I guess right now, me being on a food binge, I want to try different things. It's like, I want to try fish and chips in
Jolly old.
Yeah. Great Britain.
So actually try stuff from the place it's from. That's interesting. I never thought of that one.
Go have Thai food in Thailand.
Haven't you had that before? Technically?
Jiro dreams of sushi in Japan.
You go to the fish markets there too, like where they have it like just right out of the water slapping on. Boom.
It's still moving.
That's why it's good.
Have the takoyaki and octopus suckers like sticking on your tongue.
There we go.
Yeah.
Fresh. Good. I mean, I don't like octopus, but the idea is good. Where you try the delicacy from the place it's technically from.
Yes.
That'd be an interesting thing to put together, like trying stuff like that. That's pretty good. I like that.
And then seeing all the wonders of the world
How many wonders are there?
It keeps changing.
Yeah, I thought so.
I think 7, and then like all the songs and everything say 8.
I think
Like this is the 8th wonder.
when I
of the world.
first made my list, which now is like, had to be like maybe 10 years ago or something, maybe less. Yeah, I looked up because you got to put the world wonders on your list. It's just a given kind of thing. And they had a list of wonders, and then they had the new wonders.
Yeah, the 7 wonders of the world complete list. The new 7 wonders of the world. The 10 wonders of the world, because 10.
Because why not 10? It's a nice round number. But wait, okay, so do they have the 7?
I don't know if this is the original one, though. It says it's the definitive list.
This
It
is
says-
truth.
Okay, well... Okay, the original 7 wonders of the world listed is the Colossus of Rhodes, the Great Pyramid of Giza,
Okay.
the Hanging Gardens of Babylon,
Which you can't see, I'm thinking.
the Lighthouse of Alexandria,
Also, I'm not sure about.
the Mausoleum of Halicarnassus,
Wow.
the Statue of Zeus at Olympia, the Temple of Artemis at...
Use syllables. Yeah, I don't know. This sounds like a really, old list.
I want to say... I have it in my head. I don't know if my mouth wants to pronounce it. I'll just spell it. Ephesus. Isn't it pronounced you? Ephesus?
Maybe?
Yeah. Anyway, then they have the 7 wonders of the modern world.
Okay. Go with that. I'm gonna go. I think I went with that
The
one.
Channel Tunnel.
I didn't have that one.
The CN Tower. The Empire State Building. The Golden Gate Bridge.
I've seen that
The
one.
Taifu Dam. The Netherlands North Sea Protection Works. And the Panama Canal.
Huh. Wait, I thought Machu Picchu was on one of those. Oh, it's a wonder. And the
And
Great
then-
Wall. What happened to those
And then
ones?
the natural wonders of the world.
Oh.
The Grand Canyon. The Great Barrier Reef. The harbor at Rio de Janeiro. Mount Everest. The Northern Lights. The Paracutan Volcano. Victoria Falls. And then you have the new 7 wonders of the
Oh.
world. Which is... Chichen Itza, Mexico.
Oh, that
Mayan
was
City.
Yeah.
Christ Redeemer in Brazil, the large
Okay,
statue.
Right.
The Great Wall of China.
Okay.
Machu Picchu in Peru.
Ah.
Petra, Jordan, ancient city. Roman Colosseum in Italy. Taj Mahal in India.
I think that's the list. That last one was the one that,
The new 7 wonders.
yeah, I think that most people think of,
And the pyramids fall off the list.
I
Still there.
guess. But one of our group has actually seen one of the wonders.
Who?
Claudia.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
been to Machu Picchu.
The new 7 wonders.
Well, the ones we count. I think those are the ones that
yeah.
usually
I've seen the
come
Golden
up.
Gate Bridge.
No, that was from the other list.
The modern.
The
wonder.
modern. The Empire State Building. Okay, that's kind of maybe at some point in time, but it's not like the tallest building anymore. Or,
It's the new World Trade Center.
you see. So it's like
Yeah.
it's not exactly a wonder technically anymore by comparison to what else is around it. It was at one time, but she's actually seen the one I consider to be like the one. Well, yeah, the one was like, what is it? Chichen Itza, Machu Picchu. What was on that one again? Great Wall. What else is on there? I just heard it.
Chichen Itza.
Uh-huh.
Mayan City. Christ Redeemer.
Christ Redeemer. Yeah.
Petra, Jordan. The ancient city. The
That's the
Roman
one
Colosseum.
that's with the one that's in the wall, right? Like the city that's... I'm for some reason getting an Indiana Jones Last Crusade thing.
Yeah, that's the one where it's built into the...
Where the
The
Holy
hillside.
Grail is
Yeah.
stored, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
We need to go there, get some Grail water.
And you can watch Indiana Jones and reminisce.
Yeah. You're just watching it on your phone. Like, okay, Don't step there.
The penitent man. The penitent
The
man.
penitent
The
man.
penitent man.
Penitent man.
Penitent man.
The penitent man kneels before God. The penitent man.
Kneels.
You're like, you're gonna have to leave, sir. Come on. It's in the movie. You just roll. Okay, yeah. I never thought of that one, but yeah, that I guess that would be cool for various reasons. Maybe not all of them historic, but yeah. But she's actually been to Machu Picchu, so we've got one person that's been to one of those wonders. Although apparently you have to watch out for altitude sickness at that one and Mount Everest. But I didn't even think I wanted to see that one, the Machu Picchu. But she was telling us, like, yeah, you'd have to be careful.
Wow, I pulled up a Google image search of the ancient city, Petra, Jordan, and they have a little, I guess, a kiosk right next to it. It says Indiana Jones gift shop.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
There we go. They know. They know. They get it.
It's a thing.
They get it.
It's a thing.
And I would totally probably buy something from there if I was
You take
there.
a picture of yourself in front of there. It's like, look, it's authentic. It's from here.
You go to like a table full of grails.
Made in
Which
China.
one's the real one? He chose poorly. It should have the real one and the fake one next to.
Wisely.
Total bestseller. I totally bought the grail.
And that's where they also filmed Transformers too.
There was something else filmed there too. Oh, I was gonna say no, probably not. I was gonna say Arrow, but that's probably not true. But Transformers, yeah, okay. But Indiana Jones, man.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, The Mummy Returns,
Oh, that makes sense.
Queen of the Desert, Mortal Kombat Annihilation,
Huh.
Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger.
Like the comedian?
Wow, there's actually a lot. Not worth mentioning.
Yeah, I guess it's a built-in location where it's like, we need something that looks like ancient and built into rock. Well, we got this place, as long as you just edit out the gift store, then, you're good to go.
Yeah, you gotta move this. It's not gonna fly.
I don't think this is authentic. Yeah, of course it's authentic. This was here for a long time. At least since that movie.
Haven't you seen the movie? Watch this movie.
We've got
just
it on
watch.
sale in the gift store. It's just constantly playing. Just that scene over and over again where they show... It's like you were standing right where the camera was standing. This spot many years ago. So do you want to see all those? Like the wonders? The Oneaters?
Yes. Be a modern day Indiana Jones.
All the Indiana Jones locations?
Yes.
That's on the list. I think I had, let's see what else do I have?
But you have to travel with this music playing.
And you have to have like a map when you show a plane flying over to show where you're flying to. And then you gotta drop out of the plane in an inflatable raft and then land on a mountainside fine. Because that's how physics work.
Yes.
Totally survivable.
Yeah, but it would have to be... It definitely have to be the wonders of the world. Wonders, I would say... I don't really say from any particular list, just kind of like a combination of everything. A little bit from here, a little bit from there.
Just
And
like
then-
amazing things.
Yeah, and then working food into that too. It's like, what's this place known for? Sweet, I'll try that. Wait, it's known for what? I think I'll pass.
Maybe there's like a foodies wonders of the world. Like, you must try this here.
I'm pretty sure there is. There's a list out there.
A comprehensive list is like, you have to eat your way around the world. Man eats world.
7 Wonders of the Food World.
Of course there's a list titled that.
Foodwondersoftheworld.com. There you go. It's an actual website.
Of course there's a website for that. Why wouldn't there be?
To have Italian food in Italy.
Okay.
Like authentic.
Legit.
Oh, French food. French cuisine.
From Japan.
Oh.
Is that basically what it says? Just eat the food that's from that country? Not like a specific place, like this place serves authentic. That's what I was worried about.
The locals would know better.
Maybe. Or maybe they steer you away from it because they're just like, we don't want tourists at our place. You go to the McDonald's down in the corner. Authentic
They serve
McDonald's.
fillet of fish and
Filet of
chips.
fish. That's where you get your fish and chips from. I don't know if this is authentic. Oh, there's fish, and then they call these fries chips. I think we're good.
yeah.
And I'm in London, so I think we took care of everything.
Have a luau in Hawaii.
Is that on the list? Or you just
I'm
make
sure
that
it
up?
is.
You just add it to your own list?
Yeah, that too.
There we go. You got a luau in Florida.
It's not the same. Has to be where it originated.
This is non-authentic.
Well, it's kind of like if you go to Epcot at Walt Disney World. You go around the different lands, and it's like, oh, look. Food. We don't need to travel to any of these places. We don't need to eat at all these other places. We had this restaurant here. We tried all the different areas. Ate in the UK, ate in France, ate in Mexico, ate in Canada,
We're done.
Italy, Japan, China.
I always kind of think I want to eat like that whenever we go to a new restaurant. I always want to ask, okay, what's the thing on your menu that you would say is, this is us. This is our thing we do best.
This is what we're known for.
Exactly.
See this special right here that costs a lot?
Yeah. See this one that's most expensive that we don't even put on the menu? That's the one.
It's a special for today only.
It's just a cup of water.
But you're known for this?
Special water. Expensive water. Well, it seems like the really expensive places, I don't know if this is true, or it's just like a cliche where like you go to the really expensive restaurant and you pay a lot of money and your portion is not going to fill you up in any sort of way. Like, I guess you try interesting foods, but full you are not going to get. I wonder if is that a cliche or is that like kind of true?
Depends where you go.
Okay, so sometimes it can be where you get like small portions, but it's supposed to be like it's infused.
Yeah, I saw this like not really documentary, but like this little snippet comparing $1 New York pizza with $1,000 pizza.
There's $1,000 pizza somewhere.
Yeah, it's made with caviar and stuff, so that's why it's so expensive.
So a pizza you wouldn't want to eat.
Not normally, no.
The kind of pizza you'd get if you can't burn your money fast enough and you need a quicker way to get rid of it.
Yes.
Wait, so
Sure.
It was comparing... What was it doing then?
The $1 pizza that somebody made, like they have a little storefront in New York. It's
Okay.
like a slice is $1, and then another one's like, yeah, a slice is $1,000.
But it's an awful piece of pizza. Versus that
I guess if you like caviar, then it's good.
on a pizza.
Yes.
Okay. I'm curious. What happened or what was supposed to happen?
No, they're just comparing. It's like, look, you can get this if you have money, or you can get this if you actually care about your money.
Or your taste buds, or, actually having a pizza. Because I can't imagine you wanting a pizza then putting caviar on it. You'd probably just have caviar, I guess.
Well, it's not like a traditional pizza. It uses like creme fraiche and caviar and on a pizza type dough.
Is it pizza by name only?
Seems
at
that
that
way.
point, like, I mean, it's.
But it has cheese and sauce and stuff on it. In a way, in a sense. Your head's about to explode.
I was gonna say. So does my pasta, but I don't call it a pizza. It has sauce and cheese on it too.
But it's not on pizza dough.
And that's just the unfortunate thing about accidentally spilling your caviar on pizza dough.
Guess I gotta eat this.
It's too expensive not to eat. But it's too expensive.
I'll sell
to
it for
eat.
$1,000. I'll have someone else eat it.
Someone else will eat this. Yeah, I guess that's just something like where you pay a lot of money to go to. Wait, how many stars is it? Is it 5 stars? Like the top, or is it like a 3-star thing? Or I forgot how restaurants work, or if they even work on stars. Isn't it supposed to be the Michelin Guide or something like that? That rates restaurants on. I'm gonna go with 5 stars. Is it 3 stars?
Here we go. Stars. So
Yes.
seems like. Yeah, how many stars can you have?
What's a good star?
3 stars.
3 stars.
So 1 star is very good restaurant in its category. 2 stars is excellent cooking worth a detour. And 3 stars is exceptional cuisine worth a special journey.
Now, so even the 1 star ain't a bad thing.
No, because not everybody gets a 1 star.
But 1 star is the lowest
Like, you
to
won't-
even make it into the guide, technically.
Right. Like, you can't go to McDonald's and say, well, you got to give me at least 1 star.
You gotta give me at least 1 star.
No stars for you.
I can't get 0 stars. You gotta get 1. No, 1 is still
I'd give
good.
you negative stars if I could.
But then again, you never really hear anyone like promoting their 1 star. It seems like
It just says we're a Michelin star rated restaurant.
exactly. So I guess you
It's
don't
like, oh,
say the.
but
exact.
they advertise it when it says 2 star or 3 star. But just to be Michelin rated, I guess is pretty
an
good
honor
too.
on itself.
It
You just
says-
don't need
You just
to
want
really.
to say how many. You just like, we're rated, yeah, we're on the list.
And if you're not willing to say, you're probably one. Which, by this one, is a very good restaurant in its category, so not too shabby. I don't think I was trying to think of. I've never been to really swanky places. Like, I was trying to think of the most expensive one I've been to. What was the most expensive restaurant you've been to? Like, or nicest one? It's just like, oh, we're not coming here again. One time.
Have to be the California Grill in Florida.
Ah.
I think my bill was like, for just 2 of us, was like $200 something. But I already knew
Baller.
that going into it. Well, it's honeymoon. So
Baller.
I already knew it was going to be that much going into it. So I'm like,
Take my money.
whatever. And at first they looked at us like, you guys are young.
Yeah?
And they were like, yeah, whatever. And then we're ordering like, I guess the stuff that people who go there don't generally order. So they had a sushi bar and everything there, and I think we ordered some of the sashimi and some of the other stuff that they had, and it's like, this is really good. And then they're like, oh, they actually know what's good here.
Yeah.
And then
I'd like a
they started
burger.
being nicer to us.
Oh.
And then once they saw how much we were ordering, they're like, you're being a lot nicer to us. And then when I saw how much we were ordering, I'm like, oh.
I'm not
probably
being
hold
very
that.
nice to my wallet. This is definitely abuse.
Yeah.
But honeymoon.
I wasn't going to be there again.
I may never come again. Or will never come again. Gotta go big. Go for broke. And broke is what you were going for.
There's one at the Grand Floridian. I forgot how many stars it's rated. But it is a Michelin rated restaurant though, for sure. Oh, Victorian Albert's, that's what it's called.
A Michelin rated, but not 3 stars, just enough to get in.
Accolades, here you go. Accolades.
We're kind of in the guide. Footnote. Well, what are you looking at?
I'm trying to see if it does have a Michelin star rating.
Oh.
I think it did get 1. Or they just compare it saying service and food rivals that of Michelin star rated restaurants.
We're just as good as them. What's wrong with us?
It's actually on the top 10 list of most expensive restaurants in America. It's number 10.
Just made it. I feel like we gotta have some a good amount of restaurants here in the Californias.
Yeah, so a meal for 2 would be a sum of about $552.
That's for number 10.
For number 10 at Walt Disney World. That was not on my list on purpose.
I think I'm more of a triple D, diners, drive-ins, and dives kind of guy. I don't know if I can hang with this swanky stuff. And I probably wouldn't even be satisfied. And for that much money, I expect to be satisfied.
I demand satisfaction.
I stop till I'm satisfied, and it's not going to be here. I want my money back. Or at least a percentage of it. I'm sorry I can't afford your tip. I need to take out another loan.
Yes.
Yeah, now I'm definitely more of a lower price tag kind of guy. I think.
Yeah, I think for that one, or for the most expensive one, they have a dress code when you eat there.
Of course.
No jeans, no sneakers. So since I already planned that we were going to go there, I had to pack kind of like, not a full-on suit, but just like some casual kind of suit. I think I had a sport jacket too. No tie though. Didn't need a tie. Packed in nice shoes on my luggage, which took a lot of space. And then when we finally went there, it's like, we don't have time to take the shuttle. Took a taxi from the hotel straight over there, way faster than the buses. And we got there, and it was like super fancy, high end, and like, oh, I don't belong here.
I believe the words are, you are not worthy. But you win anyway.
Yeah.
Because screw them.
And I planned the dining slot so that it would coincide with the fireworks. So we would get there before the fireworks started, put in our order, or at least get drinks and appetizers. The fireworks would start. We could go watch it from the rooftop, come back inside, have dinner. The place would close, leisurely walk wherever.
You did have it planned out very well. I'm very impressed by your scheduling
And
acumen.
that's pretty much what happened.
That's very good, sir. Well done.
And I had planned this out way in advance because their dining reservations are like 180 days out.
Did we talk about your honeymoon festivities on the podcast? Like how well
Probably
you
not
had that
not
down?
in detail. I think just kind
It's
of
very impressive. very impressive amount of just anal retentiveness to scheduling. It was a work of art. It really was. We'll definitely have to pencil that in one time to give listeners a taste of just how beautiful a thing it was. It was pretty to look at, the whole schedule thing. But
Color-coded Excel sheet.
Exactly. But I'll just save that for another time. We're running along here. Is there anything we need to get to? I think we rambled on and we didn't get anywhere specific.
Concerts and food.
Concerts
and
and
where
food.
you want to travel.
And where we want to travel. And I feel like we could even gone further with that one, too. And we'll bring that up next time. Like, where would you want to go? Because I have a list that I've been working through. Maybe we'll talk about that. You have to make a list now.
What?
Yeah, there you go. There's your homework. He's got homework now, folks.
Yes, I have homework, and so do you, listeners.
Yes. Yeah.
I want to hear your list.
I want to hear what, like, if there's stuff. Yeah, that's good. I would want to hear what other people.
And for you who are not of the U.S., I want to hear your list. What do you do in your country that we have to go see?
Yeah. Or what would you want to come over here to the U.S. and do? Like, what do you always want to do here? Go see stuff. Maybe in California, because we're pretty bad about going to see stuff in our own place. I think it's a human thing, though.
I think that's true.
No one goes to see stuff in their own city or area.
Like when we went to San Diego, we did all the touristy things in San Diego. And we come back to LA, it's like,
it's just LA. No, nothing to do in LA. Yeah, I'm
on a holiday.
very guilty of that as well.
The most American of holidays. Well, second most American of holidays.
After Bald Eagle Day.
4th of July.
Yeah. But yeah, let us know, and then I'll go back and I haven't really looked at my list recently, so I'll look that up and bring that in and just see where I'm at on that, because I started that a couple of years back, and I'll talk about it next time, because that'll be an interesting one to talk about, all about our lives before we pass on from this mortal coil. What we want to do, what you guys want to do. Or what we should do. Well, we don't even know what we want to do.
Right.
Let us know what we want to do. But yeah, that's been the Taco Knights podcast. Hopefully, you can find us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Taco Knights podcast. If I set this up correctly, this should be up on that page.
And Twitter too?
And on the Twitter too, which is @Taco Knights. It should, if I calculate correctly, post to both those places after he posts this tonight.
And Instagram too?
I don't think that's how Instagram works.
Okay, fine. Whatever pictures
we
you take
have to figure that out.
Of what we just ate, like the Halloween burger, the black burger.
Yes.
At Burger King.
That. Yeah, so we also, we're talking about food too, we missed that part. We have to add more food to this podcast. So we got more stuff to talk about. We got a lot to talk about. I'm looking forward to the next one, but I had to pull that all together. But yeah, you can find us at Facebook, Twitter. You can also email us at Taco Knights Podcast. Taco Knights Podcast @gmail.com.
Correct.
Almost didn't make it there. You can email us that, and like you were saying, anything that like what in your country, or if you like in our country, or what you want to do, or things that you have done that we should try, like that we don't even know, are awesome. And be it food that we've never heard of. Ben will definitely try all foods.
What?
As he has agreed to. Or just things to do, kind of stuff.
But I think you have more of an open mind than I do.
Yeah, maybe. Probably. I'm willing to try anything before I die, even if it apparently might kill me. But hopefully not. But
Cricket tacos.
But yeah, we'll talk about that next time and see what we gotta do. We get to live in before we get to dying. Right?
Right.
Sounds good to me. Well, we're to the end of this Taco Knights podcast. I've been your host, Kikoa, and with me tonight has been Ben.
Hey. Just can't get enough.
Just can't get enough.
Just can't get enough.
Thank you so much for listening. It's always good to hear people listening to us. And hopefully you just can't get enough and you'll keep on listening. And until next time.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.